Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Only One Little Podcast. As always, it's me, Jose. Um, so yeah, it's well, first off, again, like if you notice that like the Has Been Hotel reactions haven't come out soon, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I mean, make sure to watch those. A little bit of a plug, but yeah, like normally what had happened was I planned to release these sooner, but the work days kind of started bunching together, and originally I was supposed to have like 2 days off. I only got one, so I got stuck to performing, not performing, like doing like one day. So this one, yeah, so this is my day off when I'm recording this. So yeah, I do apologize for that. Also, um, you know what? I probably might save it for the end because I feel like I gotta get through a lot right now. So, without further ado, it's Pride Month. Welcome to June. It's Pride Month. Or my friend put it like Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. You know what? Normally I didn't want to talk about that, but I kind of want to do that actually. But actually, I just want to get the Pride thing out of the way first. But honestly, hey, it's Pride Month. I think it's something else. I mean, let me look it up because I know that it's not just that. It's also let me see. I heard a Pacific Islander month. It is. Oh, it's May. Okay, so that was May. So we're past it. So with that being said, welcome to Pride Month. I mean, as a bisexual, I mean it's one of those things that I'm happy because it's a sense of community. At least I get to be myself. I don't have to pretend. It's like, oh hey, I'm not like, oh that's yeah, that's nice, without feeling a little too uncomfortable. It's more like I can feel uncomfortable talking to gay people, gay lesbians, transsexuals. Um, I mean, in every letter out there, and the plus community. It really hasn't affected me on a well, not on a personal level. I mean, well, kind of. Well, mentally, actually, it's made me feel more open to things. It's not like, oh, hey, it's Pride Month. It's the one day you get to come out. But no, it's been like I've been out for like a while. I've been a couple years, and honestly, we're doing good, well, actually. I mean, yes. I mean, we are still having a little bit of the fallout from the Harrison Buckner, debacle. Well, actually, I wouldn't call it a debacle. More like a. You want to call it misunderstanding? Um, the thing, the Harrison Buckner thing. We are dealing with that. I mean, honestly, but here's the thing. Obviously, people have put their voices towards that, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like, including Travis's, not Travis, Buckner's teammates, Patrick Mahomes, even Travis Kelsey is like, even he's like, dude, he's a good person. I mean, I don't agree with what he said, but it is his opinion. But that's not, and at the end of the day, that's not really him as a person. Which I do kind of tend to agree with that. He is not that kind of person who's like, oh hey, like, oh, I hate gay people. No, it's like, dude, I don't think to him it's like, oh, it's I don't agree with it. It's not in the Bible, all that stuff. And here's the thing, and not that I realized, I did grow up Catholic. I did get baptized. Guessing that was like my communion. I think. I'm not sure. I mean, I did have to learn a lot of shit. I was a preteen at the time, but whatever. Um, Oof, where was I? Oh yeah. But here's the thing: if you're gonna throw religion into this, it's like, dude, come on, man. It's like, why? Why do you have to throw religion in everything? When you mix religion or politics or any of that into anything for that matter, I mean, it's gonna create conflict. Like you put. I mean, that's why church and state, church and government. That's why politics and religion, don't really go together because there's always gonna be tension right there. Like the whole abortion thing. There was religion in that. It wasn't politics. You miss. I mean, if it's three things, if you mix, let's say you put film, you add politics, you add religion, it's gonna be like it's gonna be a shit show, and it's a lot of people don't want to hear that. You know, a lot of people is like, yo, man, it's not really what I go to the movies for. I just want to be entertained. Which I understand. It's one of those things. Is like, hey, I want to watch a movie. I don't want anything preaching to me, or I don't want I mean, it's just like the end of Dodgeball with Ben Stiller's character is like, was like I think he's like, oh, there's too much conformity. He's like, oh, I don't want to learn anything, or I don't want to I don't want to learn anything. I just want to be entertained. And I feel like there's always a side and a good and a bad to like each conversation. Like for example, like the whole LGBT thing. There's a good side and there's a bad side. The good is like, hey, we're people too. Like our sexuality doesn't define doesn't necessarily define us. It's hard like who we are as like the you know as a person. It's like we want to be treated equal. I mean, no more slurs. I mean, like we're sick of the homophobia, and it's like there's nothing wrong with expressing who you are. I mean, also it's love. Is the government gonna does it hate love? Does religion hate love? And that's actually the biggest throwaway right there. So, because if you are, that's a little condescending right there, because yeah, you're preaching love, but you don't want that love to exist. I mean, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. I mean, you want to come at me? Anyone who's religious, come at me. Go for it. I mean, I'm like, well, I'm like, we'll have a chat. I mean, I mean, we just want to be treated equal. Every group wants to be treated equal, but then there's always that side like, oh, no, you don't deserve it. And it's like, dude, why the hell not? I mean, Declaration of Independence or says like all men are created equal. That's what it says. The pursuit of um, the pursuit of freedom and the pursuit of happiness. No, like Americans, like people are entitled to liberty, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness, and that's our happiness right there. Sorry, babe. Sorry if I stalled there. I don't know why I did, but that's the thing. It's one of those things where people don't want to agree, mostly because I mean, some people don't kind of agree with it or anything. Um, and I get it. It's something new to people, and not everyone's gonna agree with it. I mean, again, I grew up in a Hispanic family, so I was mostly Catholic, and that Catholicism lingers. It's frowned upon. It's like, no, it's a sin. Like, you're gonna go to hell. I mean, I'm guessing that's why pride is a thing. But honestly, it's not something to get worked up over about. I mean, here's the thing. I'm agnostic, so it's kind of my say this. It's my thing that says like, look, I believe in something else, and I feel like that higher being or that higher calling wants me to be like me. It doesn't want me to conform to anything. I just want to like that. What's me? I just want to live a happy life, normal life. I mean, just life. And that's the thing that we're never really truly happy. Well, with ourselves, but that's okay because there's always time to figure it out. I mean, just food for thought. Well, now there is a bad side to the LGBT, where some LGBTQ members want to use the movement as well, in a sense for personal gain. They use it as a gimmick, as in it's like they gaslight people with it. It's like or shame people with it. It's like, oh, like gay. Oh, you don't want to serve gays, so like, oh, so you must be like, okay, shut up. I hate those kind of people who use, like, for example, like, let's say you're like proud Hispanic. I am. But then they use this like, oh, we do, like, oh, so I guess it's this and that. It's like, if you're shaming people, and that's actually why people don't actually like certain like groups. Like, for example, like, okay, let's look at feminism. I'm fully aboard on that. Everyone needs to hear a voice. However, if you're just preaching like, hey, men suck as part of your, as as how you operate, then you really aren't really using it correctly. I feel like people are using like certain like movements like incorrectly. For example, like there are LGBTQ members that use Pride Month as like as a shtick. They use it as like a platform, like for example, like in a sense, like to put their views in, like because they have like for their own agenda. It's like I've been to like pride parades where people are filming like for the news, and then like some lesbians are like, oh, like blah 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 this, and like or you see a YouTuber like trying to do, and I've seen YouTubers like do this, like where they try to interview someone, and the someone like from parents like, oh, don't talk to him, he's recording. It's like or get that kid. Like, dude, why? I just want to. First of all, I just want to ask a question. I just want to, like talk about him like this. I mean, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, man. Like they try to shame people into it, and or they try to be like in a sense, prejudiced against the people that were prejudiced against them. That's another thing I hate about like people who like do that, because it's like, dude, be grateful. I mean, it's not just a right to be proud to have like be part of that. It's also a privilege because well, man, do I really actually is it? I mean, huh? But anyway, I mean that's the thing. I mean, it's like, what are you? What do people really get out of that when they want to politicize a movement like that? It's like, I mean, like not everything is a crusade. I mean, I get it. You want? I mean, like here's the thing. I don't mind the bathroom. That's a whole thing. For me, a bathroom's a bathroom. If it's just women and men, I'll go to men. If it's just all gender bathroom, I'll go to it. I mean, like if you want to be honest, like I've gone into women's restrooms before. I mean, mostly because one time, I mean, the reason why is like the men's store was occupied. I really needed to go, so I went in. I mean, come on, man. It's. I mean, dude. If it's coming out, it's coming out. So, yeah. But other than that, it was pretty clean. I mean, it's pretty nice. But the thing is, like, I was comfortable with it, although I did have to hide from someone because I did have to stay there for a minute just to see if like anybody left. But I get in trouble. Nobody said anything. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, they do. I mean, people who use that as like a shtick or or I mean, if they use pride like in a way it's not meant to be used, it's kind of it kind of derails it a bit. That's actually why a lot of people don't actually like like Pride Month, because you have the certain people, that ruin it. It's like that old saying, one apple, one spoiled apple ruins the bunch, right? I mean, and as I always say, it only takes one, and it only takes one, and then it spreads, and then it's like with everyone. Like, you have a few Hispanics, or a few black people, or a few white people, or a few Asians that do some bad stuff, and then and all of a sudden it just it demotes the whatever race they're in, or whatever group they're in. I mean, I feel like some pride people do do kind of bring the movement down a bit, because if they politicize it, if they if they use it against churches, this is why I'm atheist. It's like, really? I feel like you should be atheist because you don't feel like you don't see it's like you don't see a point to it. You it's like you've been religious for years, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm feeling kind of iffy. Instead of saying, oh, okay, God hates gays, God hates gay people. All right, I'm out. I'm gay. I mean, God hates me then. It's like, dude, don't do that. Unless they tell you, unless they say a homophobic remark, then you can leave and say, see, this is why I became atheist, or this is why I left the church. Or you can be, I mean, here's the thing, you can still be religious and still, be gay or lesbian or whatever, I mean, for me, both, I means too, attracted to both sexes. And that's another downside to it. Everyone assumes that if you're bisexual, people are going to think, oh, if you're a guy, you're a guy and you're attracted to both women and men, that still means gay. It's like, no, it does not. And I'm here to clear the table right now for that. It does not mean gay. I hate it when people say that. It freaking triggers me. I mean, you've seen it in my Buckner, discussion. But it's true. It does not mean gay. I hate it when people say it like that. I mean, and yes, I do get heated about that. I still get heated about that because it's not the same thing. I'm attracted to both genders. So, and here's the thing. And this is where this is where everyone's mind is in the gutter. Because if a woman is gay, as bisexual, man and women, they call her a lesbian, but they don't see her as that. They think girl on girl. Yeah, admit it. That's why nobody has an issue with calling out women who are bi or lesbian. Like, seriously, dude. I'm not gonna say it just because we get censored for it. But you've been watching a lot of adult entertainment. Like, that's actually why a lot of people think that. And that's actually another downside that, that industry is kind of ruined that perspective. I mean, honestly, I don't think it has. I mean, it's just entertainment. How you, choose to react to it, that's your business. I mean, I react to it differently. And it's like, okay, cool. Guy and girl. All right, good. We're having a scene. But honestly, I hate it when it gets to that point where it's like, yeah, I don't even know. But honestly, it is what it is. I mean, but honestly, if you use that as a reason, oh, you think it's good if it's women, but when it's a guy, what happened to equal opportunity? I mean, here's the thing. I'm attracted to some men. You want an example? In a bisexual way, I'm attracted to a couple of male celebrities. Tom Brady. Handsome man. Pretty attractive. He's athletic. He's strong. I mean, he's got his shit together. I mean, honestly, if he were gay, if he were gay, I would. I would totally be all up in that. Like, not even joking. I mean, I tap that. Or anyone in the MCU, like the Chris's in the MCU. Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Yo, dude, they work out. They're built. I mean, they're attractive. I mean, honestly, I think Chris Evans is like one just based on this haircut alone, man. That dude, it's like that boyhood haircut, and like you can't tell if he's gay or straight, which is fine, honestly. Like that for me, that works for me. I mean, I want take a gander at that, but but yeah, I mean that were that were my if that were my if that were my options, I would. I mean, Taylor Swift would be like my my guy at my girl side, but obviously she can because she's just going out with a tight end, and honestly, I don't know why tight ends get the girls. Seriously, well, what is it about tight ends? But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's. I mean, when people use pride, to, for their own means, it's kind of, all lame. So, with that being said, yeah. So, I actually want to get to another topic, so I don't want to, stay, too, stuck up on the same, thing. But, yeah. So, moving on. It's funny that I mentioned Pride Month because I saw a Pride flag in San Diego when I went there this weekend. And honestly, I mean, I want to review the day as a whole, like not just the whole day, but the place in general. So it basically started off with a drive. Obviously, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna stay there for like over the weekend. I'm not. So I mean, I'm not gonna count that. So I'm basing this out of 10. So. And I'm actually going to keep a tally of this. Sorry about that. First off, we went to this underground cave where it's by the cliffs, and there was a shack there, and apparently there's a tunnel that takes you all the way to a cave where that leads up into the ocean. And it's a tour, underground cave tour. And I thought, okay, this might be we might be walking about, it might be connected to some other, thing. We might actually see, some views or whatever, That is not the case, actually. Well, I mean, it costs $10. You have to go down the tunnel. I mean, it's a very steep tunnel, and also you have to watch your head because it's very, it's very, you have to really crash down, especially if you're over 6 feet. But anyway, also, I mean, and it takes you out to the deck where where you can see the ocean and all that stuff. I mean, there was a seal resting on a rock. Well, sea lion. I had to keep telling people sea lion. Sea lions have ears. Seals do not. It's a sea lion. And I was lying there. Overall, I mean, we stayed there maybe 5-10 minutes, took a couple pictures of, all that stuff. I mean, we've only were there for 10 minutes, so it felt like $1 an hour, so, I would say Plus, we did get to hang out around like the cliffs around. So it's the adjacent area, and there were cliffs like above it. So that experience. I mean, we actually got to. I mean, I actually went outside, and it's funny. Like I could have, like could have got outside, climbed on the cliffs and close to the water, for free. So that kind of takes it off a bit. I mean, the way it was. I mean, it was perfect view. I mean, perfect view. Perfect. Opportunity to do photo ops. I mean, which got me into the thought of like, what, maybe I should become maybe I should take up photography as a hobby. I mean, I got this. I mean, why not else? Why not photography? If I had to rate it, I would have to rate it a 5. It was good, but like there was a lot of factors that it took out of. I mean, we just went in there, spent like 15 minutes, spent another 10 minutes in the gift shop. I mean, then spend like time on the cliffs. Honestly, it's a 5 for me. Now, next we went to Little Italy and San Diego. By the way, nice neighborhood. I like it. It's very, and the thing about places where, like, for example, you go to Chinatown or Koreatown or little Tokyo in LA. There's always a sign that says, "Oh, welcome to Korean Town" or Chinatown. I know LA has it. I think LA, Little Tokyo has it in LA too. I'm not sure. But Little Italy did have a sign. It's like, oh, that actually says "Welcome to Little Italy," and on the streets it had like banners, like like when the street poles has like people on this, like, oh, like we honor this person, or oh, we celebrate this. It actually had Italian baseball players. I don't know why Italian. I mean, Italians play other sports too. And my 2%, felt a little prideful right there. There was a bit of a group gathered around the Mexican consulate and like across, like close to it. And I will get to that. There's actually a reason why, and that's actually a part of my Have You Heard segment. So, be patient, guys. So, yeah, overall, I mean, the aesthetic was nice. Everything looked nice. It's close to the water. But, yeah, man. So, I mean, everything out of 10, I mean, it looked nice. If I had to rate it, I would have to go with 7, actually, because I felt like I could have seen more. Should I? I want to say 8, but it would have been better if we saw more walked around. So I will give it a 7. Now, the dinner experience. We went into this Italian restaurant. I forgot, Vincenzo's, I think it was called. It was nice. The aesthetic was nice. It's a proper place. It looks clean. It's it's good. It's fancy looking. I'll say that. The service was good. The staff was helpful, so I will give them points for that. Although the food was a little left to be desired, though. My friend noticed that his pasta felt a little, it wasn't heavy. And I ordered a pizza there because it said Calabrese, and I had Calabrese sausage. I thought it would be like a little thicker. And it was called picante, or some pizza picante or whatever. It just has like it had like pepper flakes on it. I was like, dude, what the hell? And the Calabrese was just pepperoni. It's like, really? I mean, $18 for that? I mean, I could have gotten like a couple pizzas from Domino's for that price, And then that was the issue right there. That honestly, it's like, I mean, um, honestly, it was dry, dude. I didn't like it. Wasn't thick. It wasn't heavy. Cause I didn't use any butter. That's why. So that took a lot out of me. I mean, if I had to give it, I had to give it a 6 out of 5. Because here's the thing. Um, sorry. Sorry, was someone messaging me. But that's the thing, though. I mean, I think it was more like a lunch place, a fancy like lunch restaurant. It wasn't like it didn't look adequate enough to like be a place where you could have dinner at. So I will give it a 6 out of 5. I mean, I mean, also I had the wine there, a little bitter. I think it's because it was white wine. I think, or I don't honestly, but it was pretty bad. So yeah, I will give that a 6 out of 5. The last thing we did in San Diego was go to a place right up the road called Black's Beach. And if you know what it is, you know. But for those who don't know, it is a beach, like the name implies. However, it's a bit of a clothing optional, so it's a bit of a nudist beach. So um yeah. But the thing is, like, apparently, back then in the 70s, I think it started becoming an issue. So I think they banned it for a time, and I think they brought it back. So, because I did see a few naked people there, because it is a clothing optional beach. You can still wear clothes. It's called a clothes optional beach because you can either go naked or not. But however, we did come around like 7-ish, so it was kind of late and people were kind of leaving. I mean, the walk down, dude, it was like a mission because I mean, it's like the way down it was a mission. Now coming back up, that was a different thing. But if I had to rate it, I would probably. I mean, it was near a glide port where people were paragliding, which was actually pretty nice. So that kind of did like amp it up a bit. So in terms of it, I would say I would give it a 7. You know, I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. I mean, had we gone earlier, it could have been different. And also I had sneakers, so I wasn't really gonna get in the water for that. And again, also it was late, around 7, so we only stayed for like an hour at tops. So we kind of had to skedaddle. So with that being said, on a scale of out of 10, the entire experience was a 6 out of 10, 6.3 out of 10. You know, and again, it could have been better. I mean, also the smell at the underground cave kind of really killed a bit of killed some enjoyment out of it. I couldn't get that out of my mind. So, I mean, would I come back? Yes, and this is why I was only there for a day. I didn't get to experience the day. I didn't get to experience like the entire city in a vacation. If I was there for like a couple days, 3 maybe 4 days, then yes, then I probably would have like a different like rating for it. But here's the thing: you know, I mean, 6.3. It's not bad. I mean, it's basically say it could be better. I mean, it could be. I mean, I really didn't get to get the full San Diego experience, but I don't know, man. You get what you pay for. I mean, it's. I mean, I'm thinking of doing like like a birthday vacation like there in December, maybe, maybe. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But I will probably say a little Italy. I mean, it's close to the water. I mean, there's a lot of things to do around there, especially like I said, it's close to the water. I mean, there's a lot of things to do. So there's that. So so yeah, there's a better San Diego. Um, for the record, me and my friends had Domino's afterwards at their hotel room. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's better, but eh, it is what it is. Now, I really want to get into something off topic now um because I'm sorry. I don't want to get into the have you heard segment just yet because there's a thing I've been putting off. Um Recently I saw the movie The Iron Claw. And here's the thing. After watching the movie, there is no way that I was going to do like a review on it. But for those who don't know, the Iron Claw is based on the wrestling family, the Von Erichs, and their whole life. As obviously the biggest name in Texas, but they did fall to they did fall to tragedy. I mean, something known as the Von Erich curse. I mean, it was a pretty good movie. I'm not sure how much of that was fictionalized or how much of that is real. I mean, but I do know what happens, and it is very sad, man. I mean, the minute and here's the thing: for this review, there's gonna be spoiler alert. It's gonna be a spoiler, so buckle up. But the thing about the Iron Claw is it starts off good. I mean, you have the father, and then you have the sons, and then as they're growing up, I mean, you see how bit of a dick the dad is, because in real life, the real Fritz von Erich, he was an asshole. I mean, he was an asshole. I mean, and then one of the brothers goes, gets a shot, to become the NWA champion. I forgot who it was. Dave Von Erich. He goes there. He Enteritis is what causes death. I think it was like something. I think it's a intestine burst or something. I don't know. But that's what killed him, and that's from pretty much there. It's like the whole thing. And then you got Kerry Von Erich, who actually made it into the WWE. You know him as the Texas Tornado. I mean, he won the Intercontinental Championship, so there's that. Also, by the way, the Von Erichs were inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009, so well deserved, man. At least they deserve to be in there, especially since WrestleMania 25 took place in Texas. You gotta give them a shout out. I feel like the majority of the inductees were from Texas, so it feels right to include them. I mean, then you have Kerry, getting into a motorcycle accident, and then getting hopped up on drugs, and you have Mike Von Erich. He suffers an injury during the ring, which almost gives him toxic shock. I mean, it was sad, dude. Because, dude, the way they off themselves are dude, that's depressing, dude. I mean, Mike, who it left him a little, mentally, I wouldn't say mentally, challenged. It just left him, like, basically he couldn't perform anymore. He couldn't, he had the characteristics of a mentally challenged person, even though he wasn't. But that surgery that he had on his shoulder kind of messed him up. It was kind of sad because after that he was done. And the way he harms himself is so terrifying. Not so terrifying. Well, not just terrifying, but super sad. Because, like, dude, they're falling one at a time, and then you get the carry, and then, dude, he shoots himself, and it's like, dude, come on, man. He shoots himself, and Kevin hears it, and then it's like, carries his body. Like, before that, he gets pissed at his dad. It's like, dude, why didn't, like, dad, why didn't you help him? And the dad, reflecting or gaslighting him, I should say, is like, he was your responsibility. I was like, what? Because throughout the movie, there's a thing where the brothers, it's like, it's basically you, like, what you do, like, you don't talk to your dad about this, or you don't talk to your parents about this. Like, you do, your brothers talk amongst it about yourself, like, talk about it with yourselves. And that's the thing that, and here's the thing: there's no real villain except Fritz. Fritz von Erich is actually like the unintentional villain here. Well, not unintentional. He's the intentional villain, but he's one of those villains who doesn't know he's a villain. He forces his sons to do wrestling. He gives his wrestling promotion to Kevin. Kevin wants to sell it, and Dad's like, no, you sell it. Fritz is like, no, you sell it, you're dead to me. It's like, jeez. And I do like that part about where he's like, man up, don't cry. It's like, I'm like, this was God's plan. Honestly, as much as I'm gonna, like, you can use it. It works, but you can't always use it. The way he does it, though, jeez. And then, like, as Kevin is carrying, Carrie's body, like, Kevin imagines, like, his brothers, and together. And Carrie, like, looks at it as Jack, the oldest brother, and is like, oh, I finally get to meet you, which is kind of sad because he's never met him before, and it sucks, I mean, that really, dude, that really broke my heart. That, like, dude, they're together. And it's like, dude, even Mike leaves a note like, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to a better place. I'm joining David. I was like, dude, drugs and alcohol and all this stuff, dude, it took a toll on this